Yeah, look, he's a slippery. What do they call him? A slippery eel or something? But he's a bit of an enigma because he's been injured for a good deal of the last couple of years and missed too much football. But we're slowly getting him ready, and he wasn't in his best position for us in the midfield in the first half, and it did cause us a few problems. But once we put him central, he scored within 2 minutes, and I'm really pleased for him. But as you could see, he was running on empty for the last 5 minutes before we brought him off. So we got him off in time, so he should have a good rest now and be okay for next week.
Mike, what made you start him in the midfield if you looked at his position as central?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I expected Melbourne Heart to come and sit back and play on the counter. So I thought, my theory was that he wouldn't have to expend so much energy in the game. But when Melbourne Heart sort of flipped that over and they actually played very aggressively with a high press, he was having to go deep for the ball and get forward. So it nullified his effect that I thought he would have, because I thought it would have been a very tight game in their half where we might have to break them down. And so that was the reason why we did that in the first half. And obviously we made changes at half time.
Overall, how shot in the arm is a win like that, just considering, there was questions over your depth and the big injury.
Yeah, look, I'm actually I'm not very happy with the performance today. I think the performance was not what is expected. There's a certain level of expectations about being a Brisbane Roar player, and I think that today in the first half we were like, I think I just used the analogy, rabbits in the headlights. We were standing off. We looked clueless at times in terms of how to play the ball out from the back. And all it takes is one or two people just to be slightly off their game, and it can really have an impact, and it spreads through the team. So you're right, though. It is a good trait to be able to still win when those things are going like that. But I want to pay great credit to Melbourne Heart today. I thought they outplayed us in the first half, and probably on the first half performance, can count themselves a bit stiff today.
Well, what did you say at half time?
Oh, we made some positional changes. I shocked a few people out of their being scared of their shadows, and I think it was really important that that goal came when it did, because then that gave the belief you could see it coursing through their veins after that. But even when we were 2-0 up and 3-0 up, we were still giving the ball away. We were making poor decisions, and we'll address that during the week, because it's not the level of performance that we want. It's certainly the result that we want, but we want to go about it in a better manner than that.
Are you worried about that at all?
No.
Guys getting injured?
Look, injuries are part and parcel of football. There's players on the sideline who are missing. They're working extremely hard. They're very focused. And you know what? Football's about players, and it's about fans. And our fans today got a glimpse of a couple of our younger players, like Brandon Barella got some time. New signing Diogo got some time. Corey really stepped up in the second half, I felt. His first half was not his best effort, but second half he really stepped up and showed the maturity that he actually has. So I'm pleased for that. And when you talk about depth, these are the kind of players that you need to be talking about. These are the players that can step in and do a job. But at the same time, our senior players really stepped up as well. Matty Smith's in there joking now that he's 2-1 up against Jade in terms of scoring. Yeah, I'm not concerned about that.
How about Kwame? How did you see his game?
Well, look, I think he was one of those I might have been referring to earlier. He was sort of not really getting involved in the game. He was working hard, and when we moved him to the right-hand side, I felt that he had a better impact, because he actually came from outside to in and joined Ricky in the middle a couple of times. But he's a young kid learning his trade. He's got heaps of enthusiasm, and you never douse the flame of somebody who's got that potential in them. He's very fortunate. He's been given a couple of games in the first team, and he should grow from that.
Petralis was quite eager when he came on.
Well, I think he made the second goal, didn't he? Within a couple of minutes coming on. Look, Dimmy's really pushing hard for a place, and I think that's very healthy for us. He's somebody who we eyed off when we knew he was available, because he's got a certain level of a certain point of difference that we haven't got. He's got that ability, right and left foot. He can hit a ball from 25 yards. He can find a pass. But again, he needs to learn the Brisbane Roar way. He was dribbling at times when he can pass the ball, but we'll address that. But I'm really pleased with his contribution, and he should be too.
Just a couple of injuries, Thomas before the game and Jade late in the game, everything.
Thomas is fine. He just rolled an ankle ever so slightly, but didn't even need strapping, so I think that probably gives you a clue on that one. Jade just felt some tightening, so from a precautionary perspective, we brought him off because there's no point when you're 3-0 up. You can cover. We weren't under any great pressure at that time, so it was safe to bring him off.